Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 strikes. This may very well be Blake Holman's last pitch before Nationals. What will we do now?
Oh! Fudge Ripple ice cream!
Oh no! It's his rotator cuff!
Oh, not again!
Alright, hey guys, welcome to physical therapy for college athletes.
Alright, so my name is Reggie. I will be your physical therapy instructors today. My experience with physical therapy has been 3 years ago I tore my ACL. So I've been through the whole rehab process and what it takes, how tedious it is. So I by no means consider myself a physical therapist or an expert, but I thought I can have some valuable insight that might help some of you guys out.
Hi, my name's Haley. I've been to physical therapy a couple times myself and with my mother, but my main experience with physical therapy has been on the other side. I've helped with physical therapists in Bolivia and through Potter's Clay, and I'm in the training.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I've been working in the training room for 4 years, mostly, as Haley said, on the other aspect, not on the injured aspect, and I've been helping athletes through their injuries since I've been there and seen a couple different things. I hope I can help you guys through this process.
My name is Blake. I'm like Reggie. I've been an athlete through this process with a couple of hamstring injuries and shoulder injuries. However, I've not been on the teaching side of it, so I'll be, like most of you guys, I'll be learning with you guys, so it gives you guys a little bit of comfort going into this.
And I'm Ellie. I haven't ever had PT, but I work at Hayashida downtown and help people through a lot of the exercises that we're going to be teaching. So we have a lot on either sides of the coin, so hopefully we can give you a full view of what we're doing. So speaking of that, I'm sure you guys are wondering what we're doing for PT. It's not dancing or Pilates or swimming. So I know a lot of this with PT, it's different because we're doing rehabilitation rather than doing a lot of movements, but we just really want to focus on the fact that this is an athlete going through PT. So just imagine, a lot of you guys are either athletes who have gone through PT. Just imagine being at that level and then having to go basically back to zero. So if it seems a little tedious, it's because we need to do what we're doing in order to get your therapy right. With that said, we don't want you guys doing table slides for 5 lessons, so we're going to be introducing a fast forward.
Time machine!
So that we're going to be going through different milestones so that you guys aren't doing the same thing over and over and to avoid a lot of repetitions. So, obviously, as you saw by Blake's wonderful demonstration, we're going to be focusing on a rotator cuff tear, which he's going to explain later. But first, everyone's favorite, we're going to be doing safety precautions with Jordan.
So we all know the rules in here. No touching the handrails, don't lean on them, no break, no touching the mirrors, we don't want any shattered glass. Don't touch the stereo, even though it probably will not be in use. And lastly, everyone does it, but shoes to the side. We're going to ask you guys to try to keep it close together because we're going to be using the walls and a lot of space. So we don't want to trip over anything. So we probably will move this in a little bit. But just for future reference, when you come in, try to keep your stuff not at the door, but like closer together, not so spread out. And then Reggie is going to introduce.
Alright, so we're moving away from the attention grab we've been using for the last couple of weeks and everyone's fond of it. But we're going to use one that I use at my workplace every day. So the way it works is, when I say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, you respond.
1, 2, eyes on you.
Just like that. Pretty simple. So I'm going to practice for you guys. So when I say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on you.
That was kind of weak. One more time. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on you.
Perfect. Blake can now introduce our specific injury.
Okay, so how many people, by show of hands, have had a rotator cuff tear or injury in their life? Great, one person. So this will be helpful for everybody else because I did not know anything before going to it either. So, fun fact, 2 million Americans sought help for this injury last year by a doctor. So it's very common in adults in the United States. It involves, I'm going to walk you guys through kind of the anatomy of the shoulder rotator cuff, and then I'll walk you through like common cause of the injury and then some symptoms to look for as a physical therapist. So your rotator cuff is going to be made up of 4 muscular tendons. So you have infraspinatus, supraspinatus, subscapularis, and teres minor. A rotator cuff tear is going to be a tear from those tendons from the humerus, and a partial or full-blown tear. The most common ones is going to be with the supraspinatus tearing off the humerus, either partially or fully. The 2 major causes of this tear are going to be injury and then degenerative injury. So first injury is going to be falling on your shoulder, or that outstretched arm incorrectly, or kind of lifting something too heavy or too quickly in a jerk-like motion. And then degenerative is going to be kind of what baseball players and tennis players face especially. It's going to be overuse or too much stress on that arm, and then it could be coupled with either a lack of blood supply or in some cases bone spurs, which are no good. And then the last thing, maybe some symptoms for you guys to look for as you guys are becoming physical therapists. So the first one is going to be pain in the affected shoulder, either at rest or at night, especially if you're laying on that affected shoulder. The next is going to be weakness in that arm, whether you're raising it or rotating it, and in some cases pain. And the next one is going to be crepitus, which is kind of that crackling sensation you get when you're moving your arm or rotating it in any fashion. All right, next, Haley is going to introduce our first milestone and a list of exercises for you guys to do.
Okay, so our first milestone, we just got out of surgery and we're going to fast forward
Time machine.
to 6 to 8 weeks post-surgery. So you're still going to be very sore, and we're only going to begin with stretches and range of motion exercises. Range of motion is to increase your motion afterwards because you'll be immobilized for 6 to 8 weeks after surgery. So we're going to begin with Jordan doing sleeper stretches, Reggie doing D1, D2, and Ellie doing cable slides. So Blake and I will be walking around to answer any questions and find people to demonstrate.
Yeah.
And Blake right now is going to divide them into groups.
Okay, so Carlos over. You guys are going with Jordan for the sleeper stretch. Justin, wait, Justin, say that because you're in this group. And then Justin, Martha, Brenna, Trent, and Eric, you're going to be over here. And the rest of you guys are going to move Ellie. So you guys are going to have 2 minutes at each station. We'll then call out switch. You'll be switching in a clockwise fashion. Try and switch as fast as you can so you guys get as much time at each station.
Okay, sleeper stretch.
Adequate spacing between you guys, you guys are going to need. Preferably you guys are going to. Alright, cool. So the first thing is
Your body is parallel.
then we're going to start with the arm across your body.
Your biggest thing is to
Down. Pointing out right. And we're going to focus. Dragging our arm across, making sure our feet up, rotates. Hands up here.
Other hand goes.
Back down. That's what you want. My Wrapup for this would be kind of like you're drawing your sword, and then you're going to stab the dragon in the neck.
Stretch. We're literally just going to be stretching.
Put your sword back in.
Seconds.
Next one is D2. So we're going to start up here,
Just so you can feel
and we're going to go across and smack the person behind you.
So stay even if you want.
Careful with the movement, don't just swing.
Find that stretch.
Remember, we're injured.
Just like
Focus on the movement, nice and slow,
goes away a little bit farther.
and back up.
So
So now you guys have
feel
a minute and a half to just kind of go through the motions, practice it. If you guys have any questions, I'll be here, let you hang around some help. We're really focused on that thumb being out, and then rotating.
Make sure to keep the thumb up.
easy to relax. You guys just got out of surgery.
You get it.
Very mobilized. Loosen it up.
Open up the chest like you imagine you hope so.
Let me breathe in here.
Come up and open
So if
the
you
shoulder back and not
Exhale.
It's for range of motion mostly, so it's like a way to
I wish I
do
could
that
tell you.
after.
Yeah. If you want to. Yeah, make sure you guys try both of them.
You look good. You need to keep your
I did. Wait, use your band.
Yeah, so
Wait.
yeah, maybe just fine. Keep it straight. Go for it.
Focusing on
Right, guys?
just the
After that,
movement.
so we're gonna do another variation of this. So usually people start flexion. That's the easiest movement to evacuate or rotation. And then they start doing external rotation and abduction. So we're gonna do scaption. So that's basically the same thing here. You're gonna start here, but you're gonna go at about a 45-degree angle outwards. So you're gonna start here, still thumb up, still
All right,
in
guys,
and
20
then going
seconds.
out to right here.
All right, does anybody have any
So
questions?
try that a couple times.
Put our sword on Tuesday again.
Drawing the sword.
Draw the sword, what are we doing
So
now?
that's kind of a mix of like abduction and flexion, so you should be feeling it a
Sorry,
little bit more
this is
on
fat
the
winter, but on the correct shape. You know?
All right.
All right, then you want to stand up, and then you guys are going to be heading each feet.
All right, guys, switch. Clockwise.
Okay, it's
Hey
like.
guys, grab a mat. How was D1, D2?
Great.
So good, so sick, perfect. All right. So we're doing table slides. Obviously, we don't have tables in the dance room, so we're going to do a modified table slide. So we're going to do a little bit of a table slide in child. So we're going to start. So two major things on this is thumb up, and you do not want to be actively moving your arm. This is a very passive stretch, range of motion, and they're starting this when they're very weak in the shoulders, so you don't want to be moving it yourself. So you're just going to have limp noodle, thumb up, and then you're going to go forward,
Minimal chest
as far as you can.
motion, so just kind of keep square.
Hold it there for
Straight
a
up.
couple
My verbal cue
seconds,
will be
and head back.
kind of like you have a sword.
And you can try it with both
You wanna draw
arms.
it?
Maybe do about 5 on each
Drag.
side. Thumb up. Do not be so Justin, you're actively moving your arm right here. So you're
Draw the
feeling
sword.
you want
You have to drag
to be
in.
moving with
Push back in.
so you're
Focusing on that
There you go.
thumb rotation. Next movement. Starting up here.
So what physical
Noodle arm.
therapists,
All we do is
Noodle
smack
arm.
the person behind you.
a lot of the things that therapists usually say is that people are trying to actively move it, and that just makes it more
So
sore.
I don't want you guys to swing. Remember, we're
So,
injured here. We're focusing on the movement. Nice and
big try
controlled.
on both sides.
Thumb bob. It's perfect.
How does that feel? Feeling a stretch
Yeah,
up
that's
in here?
fine.
Definitely should after.
Just like that. Any questions? You guys have a minute, 30 seconds practice.
Remember, think
Blanking out here.
athlete PT thoughts. Air
I
jab
do,
thrower,
yes,
your
I
arm
would
turns,
do
you have to go back to
that.
PT. Alright. Nice guys, alright, so now we're going to do a variation of this. So usually people start with flexion, which is what this is straight out, obviously, because it's the easiest thing you go back to when you start PT. But now we're going to be starting doing scaption, so I'm sure you guys have heard of scaption before. It's at 45-degree angles. So you start, still thumb up, still limp noodle thoughts. You're going to be going at a 45-degree angle
You're
out.
just 6 weeks out, still get your range of motion back, trying to get back to the field.
Still keeping that.
So when you come here, your thumb's there, and then your end
How
up.
long can you hold it? 5 on each side, hold it.
Yeah, there we go.
Same when I came out.
Doing it a little bit, feeling that stretch.
It's like really
Really stab, really get up there.
Can I make a sword
Where
now?
you're doing the stretch on is slightly different.
Alright, so
All right, 30 seconds left, guys,
you need to clarify.
before the final switch.
On the other side.
There we go. Any questions? You guys good?
You guys are going to Reggie, obviously.
All right, guys, switch. Clockwise this way.
Alright, squad. Next one up, grab a mat. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to be laying on our left side to start, so you guys can do this with me as we go. This is called sleeper stretch, because it's like you're taking a little nap. So the biggest key here is to make sure your hips don't roll forward, so you want to be like a washboard all the way down. Because if you roll back, you lose the stretch. So everything's straight line. You're going to have your shoulder 90 degrees to your body, and then your elbows bent at 90 degrees. So everyone should have their left arm on the ground, and then right arm, or right hand is going to go over your left wrist, and you're going to be applying light pressure until you feel the stretch, and then you're holding that for 20 to 30 seconds.
Hips square and your shoulders
If you guys want to feel what it's like to have incorrect form, so if you roll your hips back like this, so roll forward again.
on the shoulders.
So if you want to feel just rolling your hips back, you go drop a lot farther, the stretch goes away. That just kind of reminds you to always stay in a straight line. Don't
You're
let your hips go
sitting
back.
post off like you're rotating.
Hold the stretch for 20 to 30 seconds, and then you're going to switch sides. Just back.
Nice and controlled. I'll do that. Yes. Ideally, you want to start straight. You're trying to go to it's not the purely elbow motion. You're kind of going all the way
But you're
through,
doing some great now.
keeping your hips square and
All right,
shoulders.
guys, 30 seconds.
Alright guys, one more variation.
Do you guys have any questions before we, this is our final rotation. So just decide if you want. Let me know if you have any questions, just making sure everything's straight line
Same
washboard.
thing, left middle arm,
Focus on the movement.
thumb up, and just going at an angle.
Any questions?
Really stay straight, try.
You would, but obviously not. Further along, that's going to run
All right, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on you.
All right, guys, that was really good. If you guys just take a couple steps in and sit down, kind of a little half circle, we're going to have one person from each group kind of demonstrate just some great examples that we saw. So Haley's going to go first with some examples.
So we saw that Grace had a fantastic sleeper stretch.
Thanks.
I'm devastated. So if you watch how her hips are rolled forward, she's straight in a line, her shoulders are stacked over her hips, and she's getting a good stretch. Thank you, Grace.
Perfect. All right, next we saw that Trent had a great D1, D2. You want to come up here and demonstrate? And what's the second one?
Slapping the person behind you.
Exactly. Notice he's keeping his shoulders and his hips square on and straight. That's perfect. All right, thank you.
Lastly, we saw that David had fantastic table slides. So
And we're going to keep that arm loose like a noodle, going forward. Well done.
good.
All right, do you have any questions on any of these exercises or any clarifications we give you guys before we move on to the next set?
All right, nice guys, you just got through stretches. Nice job. All right, so now you know what it is. We're gonna do a fast forward.
Time machine!
All right, so you guys are now 12 weeks post-op. You guys have been doing these faithful exercises, range of motion, getting those table slides in 5 times a day. Whoa, shocker. And now you went to your doctor today and he said that you can start strengthening. Super pumped about it. All right, so we are gonna, Jordan's pumped. All right, so over here we're gonna have some scaption with Blake. We're gonna have some internal and external rotation in the back with Reggie. And then over here with Katie, we're gonna have some abduction. So if we could have you in your same groups and just one of your groups head to Haley, one of them head to Reggie, and the other one head to Katie. So from now, driving around, if you have any questions, ask us, and we'll be keeping you moving.
All right. Each of you guys are going to need these towels.
Scaption, real quick, stands for status elevation.
Or they clean it a little dirty.
Actually, really simple. So you're gonna.
So don't unfold it,
Here,
please.
you're going to press. You're going to
Actually,
credit card.
if you guys can roll it in half, fold it in half,
Your arms at anatomically.
all you're going to do is,
For those in the thumbs up
arm
motion.
of your choice, you're going to
And
pin
you're gonna
it
lock your elbows out like
with
this.
your elbow against your body.
Raise them up.
on the towels for so
A
that you
little bit
guys
above your
know.
head. So two
Move your
little
elbow
cues
with
like.
the
when
So
Coach
the way it
Moore
works
tells
is,
you,
this
you
is
got
what
A,
we call
on your
neutral
chest,
position.
you'd be like,
An
yeah,
internal
good.
rotation works.
Thumbs up,
All you're
baby.
doing is bring your wrist
Also,
across
if you
your
did
body.
not get an AMS test, so that doesn't apply to
Back to
you.
me.
Think yourself as one of those airplane workers on a runway.
Nice and easy, you can have
You're
your arm
gonna light up
out,
your leg walk.
fist like, whatever you want. Cues for this.
Guide that puppy home.
It's Halloween,
It's a
All right.
snowy day in Wisconsin.
you're
They didn't have
fourth
it.
grader, you're coming out of elementary school, and you're putting your cape on like Dracula.
Go ahead and get a little trap practicing that. If there's any questions, let me know.
And starting
A
off,
little bit weird.
Yeah.
off that internal rotation, we start with external rotation. Still having that arm pinned against. Now we're bringing this, our arm back to neutral, and then past
Exactly.
the extension.
Surprise.
Verbal cue. After you put your cape on,
You guys all got A's.
Rip it off.
Yay. Thumbs up, baby.
alright? Perfect. Dracula?
Take a little break. Start to count.
Yeah. Any questions? Make sure you really have that arm pinned against the chin wing.
If there's any questions or anything, it's kind of like a simple exercise.
We're gonna try to keep your elbow
It's not weird.
in place now. So I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself. And there we go. Ideally, we would also have like a dumbbell. Just add some, because we're kind of in our strength phase. That kind of help build some strength. And now we're limited to this towel, you know. Good job. Any questions? You guys have a few seconds actually to practice. You can try both arms. We're not being specific here, as long as you have the movement down. Yeah, there we go. I think I have my one too. Nice and easy. Make sure I want to hear you guys put your geek one. Bleh.
I know.
As long as
Yeah, right. So, you're taking care of You like you want to feel it like the back, so like the top of your shoulders is going through.
Wow.
No, I was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
where you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, guys.
Obviously, your
15
range
seconds
of
before we
motion is limited
switch.
to
Any
everyone.
last questions in? Get ready
Thank
for
you,
the
guys.
rotate.
Okay.
You
You're welcome, sir.
No, the crack is more like crack.
Any questions? Everyone understand the movement?
For the rotate. Here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
It's not good, but it's not It's not a real Okay, guys, we're going through scaption. So scaption is scapular plane elevation. So it's really simple. So the first step to this process is you stand here. Anatomical position with your arms. You want to pinch your shoulder blades back a little bit like you're trying to keep a credit card in place.
Hold a little bit. One
Give
more
your
hold.
hands, thumbs
All
up.
this is for is to pin it.
Lock your elbows out a little bit, and then you're just going to raise them up. Slide in front of you, a little bit above your shoulders,
Our first
like
one
so,
is internal
and
rotation.
then right back down.
So we're starting in a neutral position.
And try to go a little bit forward, not so
What
much
I'm
to
going to
the
do is
side.
drag and bring your wrist
So 2 cues, don't remember this. 1,
and back to
you're in class, push more hands at back.
Right
You
there
got
is
an A.
internal
What are you
rotation.
gonna do?
Verbal cues
Heck yeah, I got
that
an
would be.
Thumbs up,
And
A.
it's Halloween. You're in 4th grade. You've been
Next
dragging
one
us
is if.
your whole life.
Next one is if you did not get a good grade.
Right?
Maybe like an airplane working on a runway. Your light
Then
ones,
back to neutral. Hit
guide
back
that plane
on.
in. This way,
Back to neutral. That's internal
right
rotation.
back down.
The next one,
It's a
starting
snowy
off,
night, they need to go down the
where internal
runway.
rotation ends,
Where are they gonna go? Right
having
this
our
way.
arm pinned against your body still, pin.
Yeah.
We're gonna start external rotation, so we're gonna go back to neutral.
Alright, do that for a little 30 seconds, and we'll take a small break, because it will eventually
As
start
far as you
hurting.
can go, your range of motion is gonna vary depending on each individual.
Yeah, the whole time trying to
Hopefully you
squeeze
get a
those
good stretch.
shoulder blades back as much as possible. It can get a little difficult when you're going
So
up
that
all the
verbal
way,
cue would be, after
especially
you
when you
put
come
your
back
cape
down, make
on,
sure that you're squeezing it once again.
you see some blood, and you rip your cape off.
You know, it's, well, if you don't ever practice, this is like, these are tendons that you wouldn't normally practice.
So I
per
want
se,
you guys
so
to
these
do,
exercises
you
help
guys
strengthen
do
them.
one set,
Over here playing
10 reps each.
Snowy night in Wisconsin, how
One
did you
rep
get
would
home?
include
Good luck.
internal rotation and external rotation.
Exactly. Alright, guys, take a break.
So focus, really
Relax
focus
a
on the
little bit.
movement. Try to keep your arm.
It seems like a simple stretch, but it really will start hurting eventually if you're not using your shoulders all the time. You guys have
It's
any
just to
questions?
make sure that your elbow
Anything
stays
about
in
the exercise?
Because I feel like if you don't have, you would have a tendency to flare out.
What would be
And we like to solely focus on the shoulder.
Harder if you do more control. So if you pinch as much as possible and you go really slow.
Real nice. Ooh, you guys are real nice.
And you hold it at the top,
Ideally, we use it with some dumbbells.
and then yeah, come back down, very controlled, like that's gonna be feeling it like
But right
basic
now-
max.
Arm weight alone.
great answer? Thank you.
Good enough. Alright?
You guys wanna practice that? You can the next time.
Alright guys, about 15, 30 more
Control, let's
seconds,
just do like
we'll be
3
switching
or 4,
again.
so like really controlled ones.
Two sides, fill it out both sides, maybe one of your arms is currently stronger than the other.
It's a
Hold it,
wintry day in Wisconsin, boys. God, that's so cool.
bring them home.
Yeah? Yeah, like I said, it varies depending on each individual, even your
Alright, one
individual
more.
arms are different. Mine's pretty bad in general.
Pinch them
Alright,
back,
wrap up your last thing and switch.
bring them
Any
home.
questions? No? Good. Thank you guys.
Alright, my last group, let's go. Alright, so we'll have to.
Alright.
So we are going to be at least shoulder distance apart a little bit, that's very cool. So we're doing
We're going
scaption.
to be doing shoulder abduction here. So you're going to start here, 90 degrees up. You're going to go straight up so your elbow is level with your shoulder and back down. Make sure while you're doing this that you're really squeezing in your back right here. And so you kind of look like a chicken, so we're going to go KFC, Buffalo Wild Wings. KFC, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Straight forward.
You're going to do 3 sets of 10 right here.
Up, slide with your shoulder.
Make sure you're really focusing on pinching your back, especially when you're going up.
So,
First movement
do a
is
little
Stay
bit
90
for this
here.
exercise.
Are we going to bring our
Push more into chest back.
across the body?
Yeah, you did.
Down.
If you did not get an A, which
Like you
I don't know
would
if
be.
that happens,
Lower
you will
abs
do this one.
back
So,
up.
you're an airplane worker on a
Stand
runway.
straight
Light
in
the light
elementary
ones.
school.
Boom.
And you put your cape on.
Guide that plane home.
Squeeze my scalp.
Which way? This way.
How do you make it not like that?
Bring it
How
right
do I
back.
kick you like that?
Kind of if you like
It's
hit
a snowy night. How do you
vertical
do
on your shoulders and hold them like that, and then stay there.
And then we're gonna go
If you
back.
guys, it feels a little like
Your
confusion for you, if you guys want to do
Your elbows are a little far back, so you want to have your elbow
So
like
go up
right at your
very
side. There you go.
Yeah, I like can't do that.
and slow.
Maybe if you turn your hands more like this, so
You
you're
have
back
your
in.
cape on,
3 seconds, 5
you're
seconds.
looking around,
Bring it back
see some blood.
while keeping that shoulder.
That's better.
Try that for a little bit. and then more
No, that looks a lot. That looks a lot better.
Yes, do 1 set, 10 reps.
That was a lot better.
Just do 1 internal rotation.
So eventually you move on and you'll be doing it with weights. And so strengthening with the exercises for now. We're just doing it here.
What week, what are we on right now? How many weeks? Oh,
Yes.
You know, like, it's surprising how much you start to feel
that's
it.
a long time.
I know, how many weeks is it total rehab?
Arm with the low. You know.
Yeah,
For
there's-
actual
30
tear, I guess
seconds.
the expense is normally the general.
Oh, so long.
But if you bring your towel low.
Yeah, you don't want to face it.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just gonna practice.
So when you're ready, you can begin your next set.
Next one is controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Range of motion, especially.
That's really good, Jay. So make sure also your guys' shoulders are moving at the same time. So this one will
Hold it a little bit.
faster than the other.
Bring it home. Guide that for you.
All right, guys, bring it back in. Nice job.
Yeah.
Couple steps inwards. All right, Jordan, now we're looking around, looking at some demonstrators. Jordan, who do you see?
I saw that Jay had a really good, here, see if we can see.
All right, can you do 1 set of 10 for us, Jay? Nice, she has her shoulders level. Got some KFC, Buffalo Wild Wings. KFC, Buffalo Wild Wings. Right, which one do you guys prefer, KFC or Buffalo Wild Wings? Alright, nice, Jay. Alright, Jay, we're gonna add in something a little different for you now. We have some weights. So we're gonna, same thing, 90 up, and we're gonna try it with 8 pounds. Alright.
So obviously, as you progress in your rehab, we can't get weights for everybody, but this is just kind of a demonstration. This is how it looks. If you were to hold weights, this is another variation of it.
This is a fast forward
Time machine.
of a couple weeks after. They usually start with just an active movement and add 1 pound, 2 pounds. So this is way far in her PT. So she has 8 pounds, so Jay's killing it. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, and I think I saw Martha doing a great internal, external rotation. So if you can come on, Martha. There you go. It doesn't. All right, so she's starting at neutral. Oh, nice. No, you're good. Okay, neutral, going inward. Perfect. Keeping that towel in, going out. Nice. Keeping that thumb up. The cape's out. Blood. Cape's in. Nice, Martha. All right. You know what's coming next, Martha.
Deep breath.
Killing it. It's very, very heavy. Well-made cape. Nice. How's that feeling, Martha? You want to do 10 more? Oh, sure. All right, we'll leave it.
Okay, and for our last one, Blake, yes, I thought that Brenna had a really good.
That's true. Remember the keys, Brenna.
Do my best. All right. What grade did we get on that test? A.
You can see in the mirror, she's doing a really good job keeping her back flat, pinching a little bit. Nice controlled movement up and down. That's what we want.
Okay, Brenna, I'm sure you didn't see this coming. No, I know you didn't. That's so surprised. So she does some weights. Still try to keep these level. Nice.
Awesome.
Great, all right, I won't put you through much more, Brent. So now we have that same half circle we had before, bring it in close.
We'll do a little cognitive wrap up. So we're gonna bring it in a little bit closer here. Get nice and familiar.
Bring it in, we're all friends here.
Okay, to start, we're going to ask you guys to just shout out some cues that you remember. First from the range of motion part, so remember the range of motion ones, you had table slides, skippers, D1, D2. So anything, cues that you remember that you heard and maybe what stretch they belong to.
Draw the sword.
Good, which is part of?
D1, D2.
Good.
Your hips stacked.
Yes.
Good.
Get the first one. Personal favorite?
That's the dragon unite.
Limp noodle. Limp noodle.
Noodle box.
Good.
Yeah.
So moving on to the, thank you for transitioning to that, moving on to the strengthening one, so that was part of introduction rotation. Everybody remember any other cues? KC, guide them home, all great stuff. Okay, so we've been saying it kind of a lot today, that you need to imagine that you're an injured athlete. Obviously what we did today isn't as exciting as dancing or swimming, but we just want to point out that a big part of PT, there's a mental aspect to it. So you can try to imagine, like step into, some of you are athletes, college athletes, and you have been injured. This is what it's like to get to a point where you're a college athlete, you get injured, and you've been working almost your whole life for this. Most of you are college athletes and working at it for a while. So you get to this point and then you're injured, like season could be over, possible career could be over. So these are obviously very hard things to encounter. So you just got to remember that as you're going through this, it's a lot of small things that progress very slowly. But in those small things, there's a lot of very small gains that could be huge milestones. So as you saw when we progressed to the weight, just progressing from an active movement with no weight to progressing to weight, that's a huge step for somebody, especially with a rotator cuff injury where they're immobilized for a long time. So they spend 6 weeks immobilized in a brace, can't do anything. So all of us are active people. You're so active, you're doing everything every day, and then you're immobilized. You can't do anything. You can hardly sleep, right? So we just want to be empathetic here and just every time we go through these motions, try to think what it would be like to be an injured athlete. Some of you know what that's like, some of you don't. So it is a slow process, kind of small. We're trying to fast forward it with our time machine, but...
Time machine?
So just remember that there is a cognitive and mental aspect to this as we move forward.
Before we move on to our last step, do we have any questions, final comments, concerns, clarifications that we can make to help you guys out?
All right, so I'm going to preface our next lesson, which seems to be sometime not soon. There's a lot of breaks going to happen and all that stuff. So we're still going to be focusing on our injury to our rotator cuff. And then the thing, we're making a big progression because we're going to start moving into more sports-specific exercises to kind of help us progress and get back onto the field, quote unquote, right? So, with that being said, thank you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys after Thanksgiving break.